10 best crops to plant in October for winter harvest. Welcome back to Senior's Gardening Advice. I'm Sam, and I'm thrilled to have you here with me in the garden. You know what? Most people think that when October rolls around, it's time to pack up the gardening tools and call it quits until spring. But that couldn't be further from the truth. October is actually one of the most exciting times to get your hands dirty and plant some incredible crops that will reward you with fresh produce all through the winter months and into early spring. I'm sharing my top 10 favorite crops that you can plant this very month. These aren't difficult or complicated plants to grow. Whether you're just starting your gardening journey or you've been growing vegetables for decades, these crops are going to transform your garden into a productive paradise, even during the coldest months. So let me ask you something. Wouldn't it be amazing to walk out to your garden in January and harvest fresh vegetables while your neighbors are buying expensive produce from the store? That's exactly what we're going to make happen today. Before we jump into our list, I want to encourage you to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss any of our weekly gardening tips here at Senior's Gardening Advice. Give this video a thumbs up if you're excited about winter gardening, and make sure to share it with your gardening friends who need to know about these amazing October planting opportunities. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these crops you're planning to try this fall.
1. Garlic. Let me start with my absolute favorite fall crop, garlic. October is hands down the best time of year to get these bulbs in the ground. When you plant garlic during the fall season, you're giving those cloves several crucial months to develop a strong, healthy root system before the ground freezes and everything goes dormant for winter. The planting process couldn't be simpler. Take your garlic bulbs and carefully break them apart into individual cloves. Each clove will grow into a complete head of garlic. Take each clove and place it in the soil with the pointy end facing upward toward the sky and the flat root end down in the earth. Push them down about 2 inches deep into your prepared garden bed and space them roughly 6 inches apart from each other in all directions. After you've got all your cloves planted, cover the entire bed with a nice layer of mulch. If you live in an area with harsh, cold winters, you'll want to choose hardneck garlic varieties. These are bred specifically to handle freezing temperatures and actually need that cold period to develop properly. If your winters are mild, softneck varieties are your best choice. Mark your calendar for next June or July, because that's when you'll be harvesting these beautiful bulbs. The flavor of homegrown garlic is absolutely incomparable to anything you can buy at the grocery store.
2. Moving on to crop number 2, kale. This leafy green is tougher than you might think. While most vegetables turn to mush when frost hits, kale actually becomes sweeter and more delicious after being kissed by cold temperatures. The frost triggers a natural process in the plant where starches convert to sugars, improving the flavor dramatically. You can either sow seeds directly in your garden bed, or you can use transplants if you want a head start. The timing is important here. You want to get your kale established about 6 to 8 weeks before your area's first expected hard frost. When you're setting out your kale plants or thinning your seedlings, give them about 12 to 18 inches between plants. During the winter months, kale grows at a slower pace, but when February rolls around and temperatures start to climb just slightly, your kale will suddenly take off and grow like crazy. Wait until the leaves are roughly the size of your hand, then start picking the outermost leaves first. This harvesting method allows the center of the plant to continue growing and producing new leaves. Kale is incredibly resilient and can survive temperatures dropping down into the low 20s Fahrenheit. Each leaf is packed with vitamins A, C, and K, along with tons of beneficial antioxidants. Spinach. Crop number 3 is another leafy green that deserves a prime spot in your October garden. Spinach. When you plant spinach during October, you're playing the long game, but the payoff is absolutely worth the wait.
Spinach is remarkably cold hardy, which means it can survive freezing temperatures and even snow cover. Sow your seeds directly into your garden bed at a depth of about ½ inch. After the seeds germinate, thin them out so each plant has about 3 to 4 inches of space on all sides. Spinach is happiest when temperatures are in the 50s and 60s, which is exactly what fall weather provides. During the coldest winter months, your spinach will essentially go into a holding pattern. Then, as soon as the days start getting longer and temperatures begin warming up in late winter and early spring, those spinach plants will explode with new growth. This means you'll be harvesting fresh, tender spinach leaves weeks or even months before people who wait to plant in spring. If you live in an area with particularly harsh winters, you can give your spinach some extra protection by using row covers or setting up a simple cold frame over the bed.
Lettuce. Crop number 4 might surprise you. It's lettuce. There are actually specific varieties that have been specially bred to handle cold weather like champions. When you're shopping for lettuce seeds for October planting, look for varieties with names that indicate cold hardiness. Some of the best performers include Winter Density, Arctic King, and Winter Gem. For the best results with winter lettuce, you'll want to provide some protection. A cold frame is ideal, or you can use garden cloches or even a simple plastic tunnel. Space your lettuce plants about 6 to 8 inches apart to allow for good air circulation and growth. With some basic protection, you can be cutting fresh salad greens throughout the entire winter season. As a bonus, you can also grow baby lettuce mixes that mature incredibly quickly. Some varieties are ready to harvest in as little as 30 days from seeding.
5. Broad beans. Coming in at number 5, we have broad beans. Some people call them fava beans. These are absolutely perfect for October planting, especially if you live in a region with relatively mild winters. When you sow broad bean seeds in October, they'll germinate within a week or two and start putting on some growth before the really cold weather arrives. Then, during the coldest part of winter, the plants go dormant. As soon as spring arrives and temperatures start warming, these established plants wake up and race ahead with vigor, giving you an earlier harvest than spring-planted beans. Push each seed down into the soil about 2 inches deep and space your seeds roughly 8 inches apart in rows. The plants will grow quite tall, so you might want to provide some support stakes later. Broad beans prefer soil that drains well and can tolerate frost. These plants are legumes, which means they have a special relationship with beneficial bacteria in the soil that capture nitrogen from the air, essentially creating free fertilizer for your garden.
Number 6 on our October planting list is bok choy. This wonderful Asian green has become one of my go-to crops for fall gardening. This plant performs best when daytime temperatures are in the 50s and 60s Fahrenheit, which is exactly what fall provides. Bok choy can even handle unexpected overnight frosts without missing a beat. One of the most appealing aspects of growing bok choy is how quickly it produces. If you choose smaller varieties like toy choy, you can be harvesting baby bok choy in as little as 30 days from planting. Larger varieties take around 45 to 60 days. Give each plant about 6 to 8 inches of space in all directions. Keep the soil consistently moist but not waterlogged. Bok choy that dries out will bolt to seed quickly. In the kitchen, bok choy is incredibly versatile. You can use it in stir-fries, chop it into soups, or even use young leaves raw in salads. Both the leafy green parts and the thick white stems are edible.
7. Radishes. Lucky number 7 brings us to one of the speediest vegetables you can grow, radishes. These quick-growing root vegetables are fantastic for October planting. Some varieties reach harvestable size in just 25 to 30 days from seeding. Radishes are also quite cold-tolerant and can handle light frosts. Scatter seeds in rows or broadcast them across a bed, then cover them with about ½ an inch of soil. After they germinate, thin the seedlings so each plant has roughly 2 inches of growing space. Radishes grow best in loose, well-drained soil. Winter radish varieties like daikon and black Spanish are specifically suited for fall planting and winter harvest. These can be harvested throughout the cold months as you need them. Radishes add a wonderful peppery crunch to fresh salads, but roasted radishes are absolutely delicious too. You can also pickle them, add them to stir-fries, and even eat the greens.
8. Swiss chard. Crop number 8 is Swiss chard. This is one of my personal favorites because it delivers both beauty and productivity. Look for varieties like Bright Lights or 5 Color that produce stems in stunning colors: reds, yellows, oranges, pinks, and whites. Swiss chard can survive temperatures dipping down into the low 20s Fahrenheit without protection. With a simple row cover or cold frame, you can harvest chard even when snow covers the ground. Sow seeds about 1 inch deep, and when seedlings are a few inches tall, thin them to 6 to 8 inches apart. You can begin harvesting outer leaves when they reach about 6 to 8 inches in length. Always harvest from the outside of the plant, leaving the center to continue producing. In the kitchen, Swiss chard can be used anywhere you would normally use spinach. The leaves are delicious sautéed with garlic, added to soups and stews, or wilted into pasta dishes.
9. Onions. Coming in at number 9, we have onions, but we're using onion sets or transplants for October planting. Onions planted in October spend the fall and winter months developing extensive root systems. When spring arrives, these well-established plants are ready to rapidly bulb up and mature, meaning you'll be harvesting full-sized onions weeks ahead of spring-planted onions. Push each small bulb into the soil until just the tip is showing above ground, about 1 inch deep. Space them roughly 4 to 6 inches apart in rows. After planting, apply a good layer of mulch over the bed. Look specifically for varieties labeled as Overwintering varieties. You can also plant spring onion varieties specifically for harvesting as green onions or scallions throughout winter and early spring. Turnips. Finally arriving at number 10, we have turnips. These hardy root vegetables offer a double harvest. You get to enjoy both nutritious greens and tasty roots from the same plant. The greens are similar to mustard greens with a slightly peppery taste and are loaded with vitamins. The roots are creamy white with purple shoulders and have a mild, slightly sweet flavor when harvested young. Turnips actually taste better after experiencing frost, as the cold weather triggers them to convert starches into sugars. Sow seeds about 1/2 inch deep. When seedlings emerge, thin them until each plant has 4 to 6 inches of space all around. Turnips will be ready to harvest in approximately 50 to 60 days. Harvest turnip roots when they're about 2 to 3 inches in diameter for the best eating quality. Roasted turnips are absolutely delicious, similar to potatoes, but with a slightly peppery sweetness that's really unique.
Bonus tips. Before we finish up, here are some crucial tips for successful October planting. First, apply mulch about 2 to 3 inches thick around all your plantings. This acts as insulation and helps regulate soil moisture. Second, consider investing in season extenders like cold frames and row covers. These are relatively inexpensive but incredibly effective. Third, always look for varieties specifically labeled as cold hardy, winter, or overwintering. These varieties have been bred to tolerate cold temperatures. Fourth, know your local frost dates. Count backward from your first frost date to make sure each crop has enough time to establish. Finally, don't forget about watering. Newly planted seeds and transplants still need consistent moisture to germinate and establish strong roots.
There you have it, friends, the 10 absolute best crops you can plant this October for an incredible winter and early spring harvest. Don't make the mistake of thinking that gardening stops when temperatures drop. These amazing cold-hardy vegetables will keep your garden productive all through the winter months. I'm curious, which of these 10 crops are you most excited to try? Have you grown any of them before? Drop a comment below and let's start a conversation. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss our weekly videos. Click that notification bell too. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Get out there and get those seeds and transplants in the ground. Your future self will thank you when you're harvesting fresh vegetables in January. Happy planting, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.